So in this case, as of now, it seems pretty valid that it is this, and we can move ahead with it. So overall, this is the 4 different kind of data import we saw in our learning session. This does not stop over here. I can show you as many data imports, but it would be a too repetitive task for me and for you to understand. The best part to get away with this section of importing, cleansing, and creating relationships within the data is identify what all sources of data is available over here in the get data. Is it the file data type? Is it a database of technological people with technology background would easily relate to at least 3 different kinds of databases for sure based on their learning. Power BI, do you want to import Power BI data flows from somewhere outside? You can do that as well. You can make those templates like we saw in the last time and import it over here. Then you have an Azure database, which is a cloud, Microsoft cloud, wherein if you want to connect to that kind of a data warehouse, you can connect it over here. Any other online services such as Google Analytics, Salesforce, SharePoint Online, Data World, Facebook, something very important, GitHub, and many more, and others. If none of them are listed over here, it can be found in this place as well. These are the certified connectors which Microsoft recommends. You can use it, go through this, and you would be able to find out. So ADFS, approved ADFS authentication, and many other extensibility functions are available in Power BI. In this case, what we now conclude today is how to get the data, how to organize the data, how to clean the data, how to create, manipulate the data types based on our need, how to hide a column, how to filter data. All those options are available very simply in a very user-friendly manner in this second data options over here. You can use any of the features at the top, any of the manipulation on the right click of the column names, and you can also delete, rename, you can edit the query, you can make a copy of the table, and you can group it into certain things based on what you want. So let's check what is grouping over here. So if I have to group into a bins, so if I say group 1, group type is bin, size of the bin is number of bins, bin count 8, bin size this, it gives you certain grouping options. In our case, it is not needed because these are unique states which are available with its all data. So it's fine, we'll not go over there. You can change the type of the column and the format. You can have numeric zeros, $sign. If you want to add it to it, you can go ahead and probably add $, and it would add $to it. If you don't like this option, you can pretty much undo it by doing a Ctrl Z, or you can just select it and then say edit query. Edit query will tell you you have changed the type of this column. If you have, it will prompt you to change it. See, from numbers it became text format. So any transformations you do, please remember you have to click on edit query. You can remove rows, add rows, split columns. For example, if you want to split a column, or probably this, okay, and you say split columns based on a delimiter, and delimiter would be a space for sure, and you say okay. So what will happen over here is South and Dakota, New and Hampshire, North and Carolina, North and Dakota. So it is the column gets split on your criteria. For some reason you don't like the split, you can undo the split in the same way. and the data will move on. There you are. And then you say Control S to save. Saves as I say. When I say Control S, it says to apply. So apply, remember it's saved. Apply and close is save and exit, and close is exit without saving. So these are the top 3 options over here. Yeah, this is saved. Now manage parameters. If there are parameters which we need to pass, you can have those over here in the query string, not needed in our case. Data source settings. Let's see from where the data is coming. So now this is the place where you see what all data is coming from which all places. So we have, these are the different sources. This was last week's Excel sheet, previous session's Excel sheet, and today's CSV, today's web page, today's service. Do you want to change the source? You can edit the permissions as well. So you want privacy level to private, none, public, organizational. I say private. So now this is only available to me. Is there a global permission? No. Edit permission? None. So this is a SQL server which is present with me, which is gone. Alright. Now advanced creditor. This is a more like a TypeScript what you have, wherein you write the contents in a fashion what you want and you bring the data. So basically this is like the source from web page this, and extract the first data element of it into data 0. That's it, and it is done. This requires a much advanced way of editing. For most of our cases we won't need those options. Properties are different. Properties include, do you want to report it in the refresh? Do you want to load, enable the load? Yes or no? Those are the different things which are available. Do you want to sort this? You can pretty much sort it in a very straightforward fashion. If you want to group by, you can group by in certain ways. You can merge and append queries. If you have more than one Excel sheet, more than one URLs in which you want to append, you can append that data to the same table. So these are merge and append used over there. Use the first row as header is by default because this has headers. Sometimes it is not present, so you can undo it that way. Group by, split column, we just saw it. Choose columns. If you don't want all the columns, you can remove certain columns based on your preference, and that column is not shown, although it's present over here. The weather column, if you see, choose column, well-being is not present. As soon as I do it, and well-being will be displayed. So these are hide and show mechanisms which you can pretty much make use of in any dashboard, because there are columns such as salaries or credit card numbers, or maybe pin codes or pin numbers of your card, or CVV of your card. In such cases, you do not want to show those private data to whoever operates on it. So there is a column level security present over here, and which helps you to hide the columns when the data goes on the dashboard, and even when the data is downloaded. If you make the column hidden, that hidden column would not reflect on the dashboard in the website, that is the Power BI service itself. Also, it would not even be downloaded when there is an export of that Power BI data is done. So it's very safe in that manner. Microsoft has worked very diligently on this. Also, there is one more option. So let's do one thing. Let's close and apply whatever we've done till now. So now this is sorted. This is a column level security. Okay, let the changes get over. So whenever you make any changes, this pop-up will come up to you saying that that changes is being made into the system. Now, how about a row level security? You want people of certain categories to access certain row data. I want only everybody to access Alabama data and none of the others. So I can create a role saying that I have an Alabama. So mind you, we are now moving into the security aspect of the data. What I'm trying to display over here is I'm trying to demonstrate how a row level filtering is done, so that whoever person is assigned that role, only the applicable data to him or her is displayed and rest of the data in that table is hidden. So if I say this is an Alabama role and I move on over here, and in this I want to change this best ranking state, I say add filter and I say this is equal to Alabama. So what it means is save, right? So now if I want to view the data as an Alabama role, it would only show one row from this table. So what we see over here is I am effectively hiding the data which I do not have to show to people of Alabama. So this is a row level security. Hide and show is a column level security. Rest of the things what we saw over here, except measures, which would be taken up in the next course. New column, new table. We did build a new table during our last learning. Changing the data types, sorting the data, roles, new groups. Groups is something, if there are more data of the same type, you can group it into one for your option. It's a least use option, but you can make use of based on your requirement. So let's do one thing. I say stop viewing the role and entire data comes to me. Now what I say is Control S and I finish. So today, if I have to highlight one thing over here is, we saw Excel data manipulation, import operations on Power BI desktop. Today we saw CSV file import, data manipulation, along with the transformation, hide, show, roles of the data in the Power BI desktop. We also tried to import one page, although we couldn't find that table on that page, so we moved into another URL which gave us a table in its imported data. We also queried a service to get the data. We also saw how the data, while it is imported, can have the relationships as well, and that relationships can be maintained while importing the data. So these are and rest of the data can be imported in the similar fashion with few clicks, and more connectors are being added to the Microsoft Power BI desktop on every monthly updates, and more visualizations which we are going to see soon are going to come up in the more and more updates. Usually have a look at the Power BI desktop website around first or the second week of every month, and which will give you a good hang on upcoming features of Power BI. Thank you.